Well, good evening, OCPS families. Welcome. My name is Victoria Tierney. I'm the Senior Administrator for Family and Community Engagement, and we are very excited tonight to be able to bring Ray Kennard, who is a success coach with the Valencia Bridges to Success program, to all of you this evening. I was talking with Ray a little earlier, and I said to him that the Valencia Bridges to Success program is probably one of the best kept secrets for anyone in here, certainly here in Orlando or in OCPS. Our families don't always know about this program, and it's invaluable. So, good evening and welcome, Ray.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. All right. So as Victoria stated, my name is Ray Kennard. I'm a success coach with the Bridges to Success program right here in Orlando, Florida. And just a little bit about what the Bridges to Success program is. So we provide in-state full tuition to students from diverse population. We assist them just that transitioning, from a post-secondary, from admissions or registration all the way through graduation. We're with them every step of the way. And this is for any eligible graduating high school seniors in Orange and Osceola County. So we're right now in the process of our recruitment cycle for seniors that would start next summer. And I'll get more into that with the presentation as the presentation goes along. All right, so what we offer our students is proven strategies for success in academic achievement. Actually, the Bridges to Success program, our students have the highest GPA, have higher GPAs actually than regular Valencia students. And we actually across the board, we have higher persistence rates, higher graduation rates. So everything across the board, our students excel above the normal Valencia College student. We have a caring and supportive staff, so we're like our own little tight-knit family within each campus for Valencia College that's vested in our students' future. I was just talking earlier, we're uncle, we're auntie, we're dad, we're mom, whatever we need to be, for our students. We know each of our students by first name, and any of you that have been to college, on the college campus, your advisor, that's just not going to happen most of the time. But we definitely know all our students by first name. We know where they work, what's their major, what college, because we interact with them so much. So we definitely vested in their future. Needed structure to stay focused on their academic goals and timely graduation. So we give them that structure to help them persist from semester to semester. Weekly updates and reminders. So any events that are going on either within the college or the program, our students get a weekly update, a reminder, almost in the form of like a newsletter every week to keep them abreast of what's going on. Intentional interactions with their peers. So it's a true cohort model program, especially for the first year we have them taking the same classes. We go on field trips or outings or things of that nature just so they can begin to interact with their peers in that type of setting. Advanced registration, which is actually registration actually starts today for our Bridges students, and it doesn't start for the college until next week. So our students get a whole week ahead of time, and they don't know the advantage of that right now because it's their first or second semester in college. But we all know that being able to, if you can avoid a Friday morning 8 a.m. chemistry class, that is definitely an advantage. So they get to pick of the litter when it comes to picking out the professors, picking out their classes and times and things like that. Retention and persistence strategies, which I talked about earlier. Our numbers across the board are pretty solid. Learning support, which is just study hall and getting them to develop that study habit and teaching them, what it is to be a college student. Co-curricular experiences, like I talked about, outings, workshops, professional development and growth opportunities. So I'll get into a little bit about this more as well. We have to do skill shops and workshops to develop them as the whole human, as a whole person, and not just academically. And then network and career planning. Networking and career planning. So we have our students volunteer, which gives them an opportunity to network. And we've had students who have graduated, with promises of jobs, going into engineering or into hospitals, things like that. So I'll get into that as well. So the way the Bridges review process works is first a student has to apply the Valencia College application. So that can be found on the Valencia website, valenciacollege.edu. And once they submit the application, it takes about 5 to 7 business days for it to get processed. Then they'll do a separate Bridges application. Now, the Valencia application is a $35 fee. The Bridges application is no cost. Once you pay the fee, then there's no cost for the Bridges application. And then we would need either PERT scores or ACT, SAT scores submitted to the assessment office at the college, a sealed copy of the official high school transcript, 2 recommendation forms. So that can be from mentors, it can be from teachers, it can be from managers, at their workplace, people they know at their church. So 2 recommendation forms, an essay. We have our students write an essay like every college does, and just asking them questions about their background and why college is important to them. And then we do something new we started a couple of years ago, a student interview. So after we've gone through the process and we have a team who goes through and scores their applications, we have students come in professionally dressed, and we have them do a little interview, nothing too intimidating, but just some follow-up questions on the application and any things we saw in the essay that we would want to know further about. But it's a really, really great process. It gives them good practice for the real world as well. All right, so steps to enrollment, the Valencia College application, the VTS application, but then also just the normal steps, no matter what college you're going to, Florida residency, as well as submitting the FAFSA for financial aid. So whether the student is eligible or not eligible for financial aid, we still need for all of our students to submit FAFSA for the school year. All right, and so this is a little bit about the student interviews we do. So we have them come in. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we have the students come in after they've been selected through the essay process. We send out information in early February because the deadline is January to get all the to get your Bridges application in. 1 week window to sign up for the appointment. Parent guardian is encouraged to come, but they're not required. And then any student who misses this sign up will forfeit this opportunity. So that's why we tell the students to start now, because we know the students don't check their emails, to start checking emails, especially as they begin applying for any college. They need to be checking their emails for follow-up information. So here's the way the awarding process works for the Bridges. So students are awarded at the end of each semester after all the program requirements have been met. So like I stated earlier, we have students do community service, volunteer hours. And what we do is we try to encourage them to, we have a list of partners that we work with in the community, and we try to encourage them to choose a location which aligns with their major. So if they want to go into nursing, then obviously we'd have them choose to go into a hospital or a clinic. If they want to get into teaching, volunteer, at a school, just so they can, like we talked about earlier, get to networking and making those connects. But also a big thing, underrated thing, it also lets them know if they want to do this career. Our director always tells the story of when she was in college, and at first she wanted to go into the health field. So she chose to volunteer at a hospital. And she said when she saw the sight of blood, she almost passed out. That's when she knew that she was in the wrong field. So she switched that expeditiously. So we have them go into the community service volunteer hours, which align with their major, attend skill shops or workshops. So like I stated earlier, we're not just concerned about the academic side, but just even the personal side. So we have different workshops that they can choose from. Some we host, some hosted by the college. We've done things on finances, how to build your credit, emotional intelligence, time management, just all different type of subjects that we see. And the great thing about Bridges is if we notice a skill that is lacking, Bridges, we have the power as advisors, we can create that workshop. So we saw that the students, like I said, soft skills, we saw a lot of them had time management issues. A lot of them, had, issues with, proper communication, proper etiquette through email. So these are all different skills that we teach them throughout the process of the program. Campus seminars, which are like orientation, for any college. We have them attend mentoring programs. So Roar and Molding Men for Tomorrow. Those are our young men and young women's individual mentoring programs. 2.75 minimum term GPA. Like I said, from semester to semester, that is the requirement. And then we have them do Adopt a Highway, which is one Saturday each semester. We have the students go out and we go out with them as staff to clean up the side of the highway. Just a way for us to give back to our community. So we have them go out once a semester for about 2 or 3 hours. It's really fun. Weather is nice most of the time. Get a chance to talk to the students, get to know them. While we're doing a good deed, for the community.
And Ray, before you move on, I just want to be clear. The completion of the community hours, the community service or volunteer hours, that is done each semester. That is not like with Bright Futures where you just kind of accumulate
Oh no.
over your high school career a goal number and then submit it, right? This is kind of ongoing.
Yep, it's ongoing. So we have them do 30 hours per semester. We give them two deadlines each semester. One mid-semester, 15 hours by mid-semester point, and then another 15, by the end. And so they go and they volunteer, do their 15 hours, submit it, and then do the next 15. So it's 30 hours each semester. So by the end of their time at Valencia, doing 30 per, semesters, we have students with well over 100 hours in community service volunteer hours. And to tell you the truth, we've had students that come in and told us that's what separates them from like another candidate for like maybe a job or one of our students won the Distinguished Student Award, which is so Valencia doesn't do valedictorians, traditionally, to speak at the graduation. They do what's called Distinguished Student. And so one of our students applied for it a couple of years ago and he won out just because his application looked better because he had all these community service hours on it. And so he won out over the other student and he was a distinguished student and got to, give the graduation speech after graduation and things like that. So yes, and we give them certificate at the end, letting them know how much, hours they put on. So we have to put that on your resume. This looks good for a job. So yes, it's a semester by semester thing.
Well, I'm just looking at all of these requirements, and it's literally a blueprint for success.
Mhm.
If every student had this kind of support in place, we would have 100% graduation rate everywhere.
Mhm.
This is incredible.
All right, so this is just the orientation sessions that we do have. We go over our program requirements. And we have advising sessions, learning support, tutoring, financial aid, and then just our conduct, email etiquette. So this is just information that we relate to them in our orientation sessions that we hold in early about April or May. And here's the summer program. So our students, normally the normal college student would start in the fall, but we have our students, they start in the summer. We call it like a 6-week boot camp. They're literally starting about 3 weeks after graduation, which they a lot of them hate it, we know. But the funny thing is, they don't like it when they first get started, but then once they are there for a year and the following summer going into the sophomore year, we tell them to take a break and not take summer classes, and nobody will take a break. And now they all want to take summer classes, and so I think that's always just funny to me how when they're required this we start in the summer and they hate it, but then when they're not required to take the classes, they all want to take summer classes. So anywho, so we have a 6-week boot camp. We have them take 2 classes that are credit or are for credit, but they're not too difficult. It's like a student life skills class and then like an English comp class to help them slowly get ingratiated into college and what the college, what it looks like to be on campus, what it looks like to get your books, take classes, financial aid. We don't have them do any volunteer hours, in the summertime. We just want them strictly to get adjusted to being a college student because it's a big jump going right from high school graduation 3 weeks later. Now you're enrolled in college, like literally. So it's kind of a thing to kind of you have to change your mindset like really quickly. So they're a little rough around the edges to begin with, still with a lot of high school mindsets of turning in things late or being late to class. And so we kind of trying to break them out of that mold before the fall semester starts and we really get going. So we have them enrolled in 2 classes. They attend weekly meetings with their advisor. So that way we're keeping track of them, making sure that, we're answering any questions they may have. From week to week, college can be, a different thing for each one of them. So we want to make sure that we're giving them that support that they need from week to week. Campus seminars, and then once again, the 2.75 term GPA. So our advising model, we meet with students to discuss their academic, which is mostly maybe 20-25% academic, and then 75% non-academic. That's why we actually changed our name to Success Coaches, because we really are life coaches and coaching them, through, what it is to be a young adult, trying to balance college and balance their personal life. So these are our advising sessions. I was just talking to a young man today. He wants to buy a car, and so he's asking me about interest rates and should he buy a car on his credit and should he pay cash for a car. So these are different things that we discuss with our students. We help them create their fall term schedule, so make sure it's based on their major to make sure their classes align with what they want to do. We discuss their career plans, transfer plans. Probably about 85% of our students, no, probably actually 95% of our students, they take advantage of the Direct Connect program and they attend UCF right after graduation. So we're pretty familiar with UCF. We have UCF reps on campus, so we align them, with them to make sure that they're good to go there, and just review program expectations and follow-up advising sessions. We always make sure that each student gets at least one advising session per semester. It's actually like way more than that. Actually, group advising for our AA general studies students, walk-in sessions each semester, and then weekly communication regarding program updates.
I love how when we were talking to Ray, you mentioned like this is the kind of support when you talk about your role as a success coach, that you really try to be who you would have wanted to have when you were going through this experience.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. That's been my life motto. Be that person that I needed when I was younger. And being a first generation college student myself, and 90% of the students in our program are first generation college students. We know our parents, my parents, their parents, they do their best, but it's only so far that they can advise them, especially if they haven't gone through that college process themselves. So I didn't know what financial aid was. I was always laugh and tell the story truth. I didn't know the difference between a fraternity or a sorority. People laugh at me all the time. I really didn't know the difference at the time. So, that really struck a chord with me. So I want to make sure that I'm there to educate them on the college process, on financial aid, on, difference between grants and loans, things like that, I wasn't aware of, and I'm, pretty sure they're not aware of. So, yeah, that's definitely my motivation and my passion for doing it. All right, and so the program award and financial aid, like I stated earlier, all of our students have to apply for FAFSA, and this is a needs-based award. And so it's determined by various factors, parents' tax information submitted on the FAFSA. And so and students who do not qualify for Pell due to any type of immigration status are still eligible to participate in the program and encouraged to apply. However, they may need to submit additional documentation prior to applying. But if a student, they don't qualify for Pell Grant due to immigration stage, they still have to fill out the FAFSA. However, that doesn't disqualify them from being in the Bridges program. And like I said, the program is not merit-based. So if, your student's a 4.0 student, you can have 1,000 volunteer hours. That's not a guarantee they would get into the program. So, we try to always make that, clear up front. It's not a merit-based program. We actually, we cater to looking for those middle of the road, students that may be 2.5 to 3.0, that GPA tiered. That doesn't say if your child has above a 3.0 or it's a 4.0, so they can't apply. We have plenty of those super students that come through the program as well. All right, so we provide structure for success. So it's not a program that's just free money. You're not just coming to school and it's a scholarship that you don't have to do anything. As you all saw, we do make our require our students do volunteer hours, do skill shops, participate in study hall. So it's not just free money. Students have to want it. We always tell them we can't want it more than they do. This is their, career. This is their future. So we're gonna push them to be their best. We encourage them and challenge their limits to shift their attitude. No exceptions or excuses. We're big on student advocacy, self-advocacy, taking full ownership, taking responsibilities. We don't, allow them just to, blame the professor, for getting a bad grade or, whatever the case. We definitely believe in pushing our students for full ownership and accountability for their actions. All right, so that'll conclude the presentation for tonight. So I'm going to open it up for any questions. Oh, I believe you're muted. I can't hear you.
Nope, I am. Thank you. I was
Okay.
going to ask you, Ray, if it's possible. I just found out that some of our information, our messaging went out late today. And
Okay.
so we had people who joined us kind of in the middle. And since we still have almost another 30 minutes in the time frame, would you be willing to go back at the beginning and share the information again? Because we have a lot of people who are joining us right now that are really interested.
Let me just go back here.
And it's like I said, I want to welcome all of the OCPS families that are coming in right now and joining us. I firmly believe this is probably one of the best kept secrets in education is Valencia's Bridges to Success. And if you have a senior who is really interested in succeeding in college, this program literally, I don't know how it wouldn't guarantee that your young person would do well at school. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Ray to go ahead and take us through those beginning slides again, because I know we have so many people here that are just joining us and there's a lot of interest. And I just think this is one of the best kept secrets. I mean, it's so helpful and
Mhm,
it sets kids up for success. So
mhm.
thank you for your flexibility, Ray. And
Yeah, sure.
OCPS families, we're going to do a take two. Here we go.
All right. So my name is Ray Kennard. I am a success coach for the Bridges to Success program. We have, we're based on Valencia College West, East, and Osceola campuses. And we're actually, we provide in-state full tuition to students from diverse populations. We assist them with post-secondary transition from admissions all the way to graduation. And this is for all eligible graduating high school seniors in Orange and Osceola counties. What we offer students are proven strategies for success and academic achievement. Like I was stating earlier, um, our Bridges students have actually a higher GPA than normal Valencia College students, just because of the demand that we put on them and the strategies that we give them for success and academic achievement. We have a caring and supportive staff. We look at the students like our own children. Um, we're definitely vested in their future. We know, every single student's, name. We know pretty much, where they work at, things they have going on, their major. So we know everything about our students. We give them structures; they can stay focused on their academic goals. Because we're being honest, a lot of them didn't have the best study habits in high school. And so we tell them you get to college, it's a totally different ball game. So those have to change really, really fast. So we have required study hall that we have our students be a part of. They get weekly updates or newsletters from the advisors and program director. Um, Intentional interactions with their peers. So we actually have them. Um, we have true cohorts where they start in the summer. I'll talk about that in a moment, and they all have classes together primarily their first year until the second year when they start breaking off into more of their courses that align based on their major. But those general education courses, for the most part, they're in the same classes for that first year or so. to help them get to know each other. Advanced registration. So if, for instance, registration is happening today for our students, the rest of the college, they don't start registering until next Monday. So they get a whole week in advance to pick out they get the pick of the litter as far as they like to go to ratemyprofessor.com and pick out their professors and make sure they get the best time. So our students get that advantage, as well as, like I stated, retention and persistent strategies to make sure that they're in line to graduate in a timely manner. Learning support, which is study hall. Co-curricular experiences, we take them different places. We do UCF tour every semester, because about 95% of our students, they transfer to UCF afterwards. So we do a tour every semester. Professional development and growth opportunities. Give me one moment. So through skill shops or workshops, so we're not just concerned about academic side, but just a professional. We call them young professionals, and them becoming young adults in the world. So we go over different things like time management, resume workshops, how to, create a cover letter, purpose, strength finders, all those different types of things that we have them participate in, how to save money. I did a stock market challenge where we actually, were able to use $100,000 of fake money to invest in some actual stocks, and just so they can see how the stock grew over a certain time period. So we have different things like that we put our students, give them available resources for that. And then networking and career planning. So through their volunteerism, they are able to, network and career plan. So I'll get into that. Yes, I will. So actually right here is where they can apply. So the review process, the first step is to complete a Valencia College application. So you go to valenciacollege.edu, and you submit an application. Now that's I think it's $35 application fee for that. And then it takes about 5 to 7 days for the application to be processed. And then once they process that, there's a BTS application inside of what's called the Atlas account. That's the platform that Valencia uses. So once they complete the application, they go in and complete the Bridges application. And we show them how, to do that. And then they need to submit their PERT or ACT, SAT scores, as long as they're within the last 2 years. Sealed copy of the official high school transcript. So obviously, in the beginning, we'll take the unofficial, because obviously they haven't graduated yet. And then at the end, once they graduate, we'll do the well, she still has time. I saw somebody ask a question about the SAT. She still has time to turn that in. And then 2 recommendation forms. They can be from, pastors, people at the church, or manager at work, school counselors, but let it be from people that know them and like them. I know we laugh at that, but we've had recommendation form for some people saying, no, don't take this student. So make sure it's from somebody that knows them and likes them and can attest to their character. We have them submit an essay like every college does, based on, why they want to go to college and things that they've overcome. And then we do a student interview. Once the application has been submitted, the deadline is January. Then we call the students that have been selected back in, and we have them dress up, professional dress attire. And then we do an interview just to ask them follow-up questions regarding their essays. So step 2 enrollment. So they do the Valencia College application, they do the Bridges application. And then, of course, with any college, they have to submit the Florida residency. So if they're dependents, then that's where, mom and dad or guardian would come in. If they're already in dual enrollment, I'm just answering the question. I'm just catching a couple of them as I see them in the corner. Now, we can't accept any students that have more than 9 credit hours through dual enrollment, because we are a cohort. And so we have them specifically in specific classes in the beginning for a specific reason. And so if we have students that come in, they've already taken the classes that we put them in, then they're not getting the best, opportunities. We've had students that applied that like are halfway done with their associate degree already. That's not really the goal that, we're trying to do. So we usually limit it to 3 dual enrollment classes for each student that comes in. Florida residency has to be completed as well as the FAFSA. So whether they qualify for FAFSA or not, or for financial aid or not, then all of our students are required to fill out the FAFSA application. I don't need to go over that. That'll be later. That's the student interviews that I talked about earlier. And so the awarding process, our students are awarded at the end of each semester after all program requirements have been met. And I think I failed to mention this in the beginning. The great things about Bridges is, for the most part, most of our students do qualify for financial aid. And so the financial aid is in place to pay for their classes up front. And then what happens is then they may get like a little refund, from financial aid. But then what happens is at the end of each semester, Bridges reimburses for whatever financial aid paid. So we're putting that money back in their pocket. So and I'm not exaggerating, we have students that graduate with $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 saved. Normally you go to college and you leave with a degree in loans. Here you leave with a degree and money in your pocket. And I'm not exaggerating, $15,000, $20,000 saved, because Valencia is, $6,000 a year. So you're talking about that $6,000 coming back to you in your pocket. So 2 years, that's 12,000. Most students don't graduate in 2 years, about 2.5, years. So now you're talking about that's $15,000 right there that is pocketed they can use towards their 4-year degree, or school supplies, laptop, things like that they need. So semester requirements, we have them do community service, volunteer hours, and we ask them to we have a list of partners that we work with, and we encourage them to apply for places or volunteer places that align with their major. So we have a lot of like nursing majors, and so we encourage them to, volunteer at hospitals, and that's where you can network and for them to get to know your name. And we've had students, engineering, they've been, promised jobs here, take my card, call me, when you graduate, I have a position for you type of thing. And it also gives them an idea if they want to work in that field. I always tell the story of my director. She wanted to go into the health field when she was, doing her undergrad, and she volunteered in a hospital, and she saw the first sight of blood, she almost passed out. And that's when she knew that's not what she wanted to do. So she changed her career immediately. So we give them the opportunity as well. We have them attend skill shops, as I talked about earlier, credit, saving money, whatever it is, communication skills, time management, soft skills, hard skills, things like that. We have them do all type of workshops that we put on, as well as through the college. Attend campus seminars. Those are just like an orientation, mentoring programs for the young men and the young women. 2.75 minimum term GPA that they must keep. And then there's Adopt a Highway. This is one time per semester. We have our students go out and, we clean up on the side of the roads on a Saturday morning. It takes about 2-3 hours. It's a good opportunity. We're out there talking, laughing with each other, while we're doing a good deed, in the community as well. All right, so these just talk about our orientation sessions, things that we go over there. Our summer program, 6-week boot camp. So they literally start 3 weeks after they graduate high school. And it's really, we enroll them in 2 classes, and it's not anything too difficult. So it's normally like a student life skills class, and then like English comp. So to get them ingratiated to the college process, what it is to be a college student, teaching them how to get their books, and really just trying to break that high school mindset, because we do know that's a big jump to literally graduate high school, and in 3 weeks, you're starting, as a college student. It's around June 21st, 22nd that week. And then, you usually graduate May 30th. So it's really, really fast. So this is kind of giving them that adjustment period to get it all out of their system, being late for class, turning assignments late, a lot of things they were allowed to kind of do in high school, which allowed them to kind of get it out of your system. So when the fall rolls around and we're going, full blown, then, you'll have it out and you be ready to transition into a college student. We have them attend weekly meetings with their advisors or success coaches, actually, attend campus seminars, and then once again, that 2.75 term GPA. Advising model, meet with them one-on-one to discuss academic, non-academic issues. Like I said, most of the time it's 25% non-academic or 25% academic, 75% non-academic. We're talking about life skills. We're talking about how they're balancing, going to getting to class on time, giving them strategies, things like that. We help them create their fall term schedule. So we actually have to help them create their fall and the spring schedule to make sure they're taking the appropriate classes. We discuss their career plans, their transfer plans. Like I said, most of our students, they transfer to UCF afterwards. We have UCF representatives, actually have UCF building on our campus, so we're connected, with them as well. And review program expectations. We advise every student, multiple times per semester. We do group advising, walk-in sessions each semester, weekly communication, just making sure they're up to date on everything that's going on. So we are a needs-based award. So it's determined by various factors, including a parent's tax information is submitted on the FAFSA application. And don't worry if the student does not qualify for Pell due to immigration status, or even if you don't qualify due to the parents, making, we call them high EFC. The parents make too much money to qualify for Pell. We still accept those students are still eligible to participate in the program, so we still encourage those students to apply. However, if they do not qualify for Pell due to immigration status, we'll still need them to submit additional documentation, but that doesn't automatically disqualify them from the program. And like I said, it's not a merit-based program, so it's based on needs. But don't be discouraged once again if your student is a 4.0 and they have 1,000 hours volunteer hours. That's not a guarantee they'll get into the program. But we just want we'd like to let everybody know up front that it's not strictly merit-based. All right, so we provide structure for our program. It's not just free money. Like I said, that if you saw, they have to do volunteer hours. We have them do skill shops, workshops, resume clinics, all the whole nine. They have to want it. We tell them, especially since both of them are first generation students. We first generation college students. We can't want it better, than you do. Now we will push them. We will challenge their limits. Challenge them to shift their attitudes. No exceptions or excuses. We're really big on student self-advocacy, for them advocating for themselves, taking full ownership and responsibility, for their education.
Ray, I
Right?
had a question. Oh, yes, perfect. We're at questions.
Sure.
Matt was asking, are FAFSA apps readily available to fill out, or are they distributed when it's time? But they have to go to the FAFSA site for that, correct?
Right. Yep. So FAFSA.gov, I believe, GOV.
Yes.
Yep. And don't ever pay for it. FAFSA stands, the F in FAFSA stands for free. So, there's a scammers and things like that. Don't ever pay for a FAFSA application. That's a free application.
And I also want to let our families know that we actually have on December 10th, we will have a representative from the state of Florida talking about paying for college. It's a financial aid. It is another virtual parent academy. That's December 10th. And then we have another one because we know that for many families, they need more than just that one. We also have another financial aid night, and that specifically focuses on Florida financial aid application and Bright Futures, and that is March 4th. So as you're looking at this, these are helpful. And then for the families, when Ray was talking about enrolling at Valencia, and then you look for the bridges, February 13th, which is a Thursday, we actually have another parent academy, a virtual parent academy that focuses on enrolling at Valencia College. So these are all kind of connected in what Ray was saying.
Mhm.
And yes, which link are you hoping for, Matt, before December 10th? You mean to the FAFSA? Because the FAFSA, you will have to go, like he said, yes, you'll have to go to FAFSA.gov.
Gov.
And yes, FAFSA.gov, and that will walk you through the process. In fact, they even have like a little video Yes, the next webinar, we will actually, I will be able to go ahead and make sure anyone who is involved in this virtual parent academy will get the links for the next virtual parent academies that deal with the financial aid and also deal with enrolling at Valencia. So we want to make sure that you all feel prepared to be able to go through this process. Oh, someone was asking if you have dorms, but you are not, are you, does Valencia have dorms?
The only dorms we have are downtown. So we have um, so we're combined. We have a collaboration with UCF, and so downtown campus has dorms. And I
Oh,
would say
okay.
that we
I
have
didn't
about
know
eight.
that.
hmm But we have a specific block, so we don't have all of those. So that's something you have to apply for early. And they usually reserve about 75 to 80% of those for UCF students, and we get about 20, 25% of the dorm.
Oh,
So it's not something where it's a whole lot available.
do we have any other questions that are coming up?
I see, do the different campuses specialize? So yes, so based on their major. So for instance, if they want to go to, that's a great question. If they want to, invest, not invest, major in like film, then they can start out taking their gen ed courses at any campus. But then once they start getting into more of those film courses, then they'd have to go to the East Campus. If they want to do culinary, then that's located at the downtown campus. Dental hygiene, nursing, those are located at the West Campus. So it's and we let them know all of that in our advising sessions based on whatever they want to major in. But yes, different campuses do specialize in different majors. So that's a good question.
Okay. And I'm dropping in to the chat, Matt, because I do think it's important. Um, you should see the registration link to that financial aid um, webinar that we talked about. That's the December one. So I want to make sure that you have it. There's another question, Ray, about does Valencia has a major related to veterinarian or animal science?
There is one related to veterinarian. You can go on the Valencia website. I don't know a whole bunch about it because we don't have too many students in that program, but you go to valenciacollege.edu. Um, I'll tell you that the best feature is a search box on Valencia College, like I still use it, and whatever you type in, we have a pretty good uh, results that come through. But veterinarian, they do have some courses on that. And I saw another question, architecture. Yep,
Yeah.
we have architecture.
And then someone was asking, do you pay for the dorms?
No, we don't. Bridges doesn't pay for the dorms, so that'll be something that the parents. We just cover the tuition and books. So that'll
Okay.
have to be something the parents, guardians, or financial aid that they would use financial aid to pay for the dorms. And I will say they are quite expensive.
Okay.
They can be quite because it's downtown. You get a view of everything: the football stadium, the Magic Stadium. I was trying to move in.
I'm also going to go ahead and the February 13th Parent Academy enrolling in Valencia. I'm going to go ahead and put the registration link for that as well in the chat box. Make sure people have that as well because I know that they were asking. And then I am going to work on getting that Bright Futures one in. Did we have any other questions? While we have Ray, this, like I said, this is an amazing program and such an opportunity for our young people, especially our seniors right now. This is
Mhm.
amazing.
And if you can share my email so that way, after their child applies, because I know they probably won't be able to navigate the Atlas platform to be able to find the Bridges application. So you can share my email and they can
Okay,
ask
I
them.
will do that. I'm going to go ahead and copy the registration link right now for the March 4th financial aid, and then I can go ahead and share Ray's. So March 4th Parent Academy. is the Florida Bright Futures. I have to be able to type. And financial aid. And let's see, that's going to be right there. And somebody is commenting, just saying that they really appreciate um, all this information. And I have to say a huge thank you to Ray, not only for being here, but also because he was so kind to be able to, in a sense, go through all this information twice because we had such a surge of interest and so many parents. And Ray, it's going to be rkennard at valenciacollege.edu.
That is correct. And then what I'll do, Victoria, is I'll share the link where they can actually, because I don't have it with me now. After we get off the call, I'll share the link with you where they can actually submit the information showing their interest, so they can submit their students' information. So we'll have it that way we know to reach out to their students, because sometimes if they send me an email, oh, Valencia may block it and it may go to spam if it's not a Valencia College email. So I want to make sure everyone gets the information. So I'll share the link with you where they can go and actually fill out an interest form. So that way I have their email address, and I can set up my settings to make sure I receive any emails from them.
Okay, that would be great. I know parents would really appreciate it. And families, if you are joining us, well, you are joining us. So what I'm going to ask you to do is please take a moment and complete just a brief survey for us. It helps us to continue to improve our ability to serve you. And we thank you so much for being here this evening. It looked like there was another. It says, would you please let me know if Valencia can provide law major and how it would work?
Law majors, no, we don't necessarily have any law. I mean, we do have the criminal justice, but we have a criminal justice program. Um, so it's had to, but I'd have to talk specifically, or you'd have to talk specifically with a success coach or an advisor, as far as like what type of lawyer are they trying to go, like paralegal or what have you? Because the only one I can think of right now is like criminal justice program that's in law.
Okay. And then we do ask, Ray will share a copy of the presentation, and then we usually share the PDF copy of the slides with participants so that they have kind of a visual of that information.
All right.
So yes, for people who are asking, you will be able to get this information. And also families, I dropped our family's YouTube link in the chat because within 48 hours, we did record this session, and we will make sure that the recording is available at our YouTube families channel. So we want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Ray, thank you so much for all of this great information.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And families, if you were here, we will make sure that we get this information out to you. So thank you again. Have a wonderful evening, and everyone take care.
Thank you.